Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
You do it all. So why not get all the electrolytes? Hydrate better than water with new Gatorade Lower Sugar. Now with no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or colors. And 75% less sugar than regular Gatorade. New to the fridge. All the Gatorade electrolytes you love. Gatorade Lower Sugar. Is it in you? Now available nationwide.
Hello and welcome back to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm Tess Brigham. I'm the therapist.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And we are back with Sister Wives Season 20, Episode 4, entitled You Need to Shut Up. This is, as of right now, we've Googled this, and this apparently is the title. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but this is the title. So before we get into Sister Wives, we do want to talk a little bit about Special Forces, which we both watched this week. I have to say, I really enjoy the show.
I love this show.
And I'm like on the edge of my seat. I mean, I was watching it this morning and I gasped and Steve's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh, they just went down a hill. I'm like, oh. But I would tell you right now, I could not go through those tunnels.
I couldn't do any of this. I couldn't even be in that Moroccan heat. I mean, kudos to the people who are there, who signed up for this in the first place. I mean, this is horrible.
Yeah.
What they put them through.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it's, And they're saying it's just a fraction of what they really do. But I just, I guess heights, I don't love, but being enclosed, like when Gia started to have a panic attack, I was like, oh, I felt that. And that panic, it freezes you. And then they're yelling at you and yelling at you and yelling at you. And it's like, I understand this is life and death, but like, this isn't going to help her,
Right. She's never done this before. She's never practiced for this in any way. And, it's sprung on them. Like, okay, now you're going to do this.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, God, this show, this is very risky because somebody could, like, especially when they're like in the water, they're in the ditch in the water with I guess though they could rescue them at any time by lifting up those,
the grates.
The grates. But still, it could be too late. Like you can drown they say you can drown in a tablespoonful of water. And it doesn't take much. You know what I mean? Like you could get it in your lungs. People drown like days later after, getting water in their lungs. Anyway, this is so dangerous. The liability of this show is just unreal.
So either like the show, I'm sure maybe they have a lot of insurance, and I bet you all of those contestants signed a very thick packet.
Oh, of course. But you don't want someone to die on your show, insurance or no insurance or waivers or not. Like that, I don't know. It trips me out that just regular people are doing this.
Yeah. But there were a few Kody moments.
Mm-hmm.
The first exercise that they had to do was like rappelling themselves like down a side of a
dam. Yeah.
While remembering a code.
Yeah.
And Kody, we just see Kody passed, and then he smiles and goes, "Oh, I could do that again." It's like, oh, shut up, Kody. Like, it's just like, what? Really?
I'm sure he means it. I mean, this guy, he loves this.
No, I'm sure he meant it too, but it's a little bit like, is this the environment? Like, this is not a jokey environment. You know, we're already finding out these guys don't like sarcasm or humor.
Well, that's the thing. You know, this show has really demonstrated to us just how goofy he is.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Brianna Lapaglia, I don't know how you say her last name. When she was giving that interview, she was talking about how she was being serious, not joking. She thought he was mentally slow. Like,
we talked about that last time.
Yeah, why is this guy saying these things? And you see it, he has no social skills. When you think about his life, he's led a very, very sheltered life. You know, he grew up in the LDS church on that ranch in Montana, small town, you know, very, very, his world was very small. And then, you know, he has only lived in, you know, a couple different places. He hasn't really traveled. He's been in this isolated, insular community. I just don't think Kody knows how to operate in the world. Doesn't know what to say. So,
yeah, because he's walking around going, day four. He's like,
congratulations, you made it to day 4. It's like, okay.
But that's what I mean. That oh, let's do it again. Oh, I could do that again. Yeah, it's just like, really, you've been here 4 days now. You know, you know the score. Yeah. But I will say, every time I hear someone's backstory, it's like, yeah, you can really, you see the humanity. And like Nick Young, now I'm just like, I'm not annoyed by his smile. I'm like, I know why you smile now, Nick Young. I know the pain. So, and again, that other guy, Ravi, who I've seen in different shows, he's been in a couple different sitcoms and such. I mean, that's devastating. He tells the story of he and his wife lost their, I guess, baby girl at 5 days old. It sounds like something, maybe she had a brain injury or something. Like, it seems like they had, I'm not quite sure, but they have a 6-year-old daughter. And I mean, he's just like, it wrecked us. It wrecked his daughter, wrecked all of them. And
his wife is very worried about him being there. Yeah. Something happening to him.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. So, did he have any other? The hair was, you know, we got a ponytail, we got high pony, low pony, we got frizz, we got a lot of Kody hair looks.
He doesn't have all of his hair products available, so his hair's looking a little dry.
You think that's what it is? He doesn't have all his, they could not possibly let him have a bunch of hair products.
Oh, no, he doesn't have, I don't think he has anything. Do they even let them bathe? I mean, I haven't seen any.
No, we've seen them showers. We've seen, I think they're like outdoor showers, and I think so I think they get to shower. I think, but the other part of it is they were sitting around waiting for a while. And I think that's that whole thing. Like, no one wants to take any of their clothes off. Nobody wants to, you can't relax because we're going to be called at any moment. So, anyway.
Well, yeah, I really hand it to the little Gia. I mean, God, she's like 24 years old, she is a tough cookie.
Well, the other one is Janelle Iman, who is...
Yeah, they never really show her much of her.
They showed her a little bit this time around. But again, I think she's about Gia's age. And again, I mean, mom was a model. You're this... Like, she's... And anyway, same thing. I'm like, I tip my hat to both of them, because I am telling you, I can't even watch a show where someone is like buried alive. Like, I can't even watch that. It makes me so anxious. That is my worst fear in life, is being buried alive.
Wow. Wonder where that comes from.
Well, because, you just have to lay there until what? You waste away? Like, what do you do? How do you get out?
Well, Oh, you'd probably suffocate first. You'd probably die pretty quickly from suffocation. But that's not pleasant.
No.
That's not pleasant.
No.
No.
Just the idea of waking up and like being in a confined space that like, that's a lot of anxiety there.
Yeah, well, so Johnny football drops out.
Which, God, man, I thought he was going to power through. And he said that. He's like, I when things get really hard, I allow myself to talk myself out of it. And that's what those guys were. That was the whole point of this episode. They said it was about mindset, and that's it. I mean, again, it's the mindset. I could make it through those tunnels. My mindset is I can't, or I'm scared, or I'm going to freak out, or something terrible is going to happen. And in some ways, you gotta like go through the tunnel and get to the other side to realize like, I can do this. This isn't as scary as I think it is. Because obviously there are lots of people around me. And if something happened, but it does really challenge you, challenges you in a lot of different ways. I just found it fascinating. I just love the show.
Yeah. Really well, and we got a quick flash of Kody's rock hard abs.
Oh, we did?
I'm not going to. Yeah. It was very quick. It was like towards the end, I believe. Which I'm not going to criticize. Look, I don't have any abs, and he's 57,
and they were rock hard.
Well, I mean, it was hard to tell. They had definition. You could see definition, but hard to tell.
Okay.
So
All right. Do you have anything else to say about Special Forces?
No, not really. Just hope to get more Kody. Can't wait for the Kody showdown.
I mean, there's got to be a Kody, Brianna, Gia showdown or something. Something's going to happen, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, because we cannot focus on that anymore because we have got to get to Parowan because Meri is going over to see Jen at the bike shop and to talk about dating. I'm like, oh God, you're absolutely right. You called
episode in a row.
You called this last time, which is this is what this is every single
Yes.
Because and you know what the interesting thing is, she and Jen are now doing like how Christine and David do, right? They're doing together interviews.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is your partner now.
That's your new partner.
Yeah.
Yes. I know. And because the reality is she needs someone to film with, and she is not on good terms with anybody else in the family, apparently. And I mean, this is it. She has to be with Jen.
Yeah.
Like they cannot break up.
Well, the other thing too is, I mean, then we'll get into this where Christine, I mean, listen, Christine films with her kids a lot, but a lot of times Christine also has David, so they can always film that. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, we can't just watch Meri alone, dating. But this is, again, back to this whole thing where it's like, oh, we need to talk about boys, then, Jen's husband has to leave because they're going to talk about boys and And it's like, oh my God.
And she's got her Worthy Up sweatshirt on.
Yes.
So must have been in the height of Worthy Up. I mean, is Worthy Up dead? Is it?
No, I think it's still happening. Maybe she's evolving it in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. So she tells us that Ron, the guy that she matched with at speed dating, she has talked to him. They have not met in person. Now, I realize this. Well, she drove to Salt Lake to go to the speed dating thing, so he probably lives in Salt Lake. And she's in Parowan. That's what is it, like 2 or 3 hours at least?
Oh, it is? It's that far? I didn't know it was that far away from Salt Lake City.
I think it is.
Wow. Okay, that's a little bit farther. But is it kind of like Love is Blind where everybody's like near, maybe not everyone's in Salt Lake proper, but they're surrounding areas?
I have no idea. I mean,
here's the thing. How many men are there in Parowan? She's going to have to drive.
Right.
Someone's going to have to get in the car.
The odds are not good in Parowan. But I'm just like, wow. But again, another thing, this kind of going back to the same thing with Kody, is that Meri's views on dating also expose her lack of sophistication.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm sure Kody was her first boyfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
First and only boyfriend.
She's 19.
Yeah.
Like, how many boyfriends how many serious relationships could you have before that?
Exactly. So, and she says in their culture, you date to get married. You date, you don't date for fun. Because Jen's trying to get her to look at it like, just have fun with this.
Yeah.
Come on, just who cares? Contact him. Like, you don't have to wait for him to contact you. And Meri's taking it so seriously, like like following all these antiquated rules. And she's never dated before.
Yeah.
And so this is just completely out of her wheelhouse, which is why she needs so much help from Jen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's the part, again, it's very stunted, which is why it's like, hee, boys, because she never really got to do this with her. You know, she didn't like get ready for a date with her friends at the apartment and, oh my God, blah, 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 and going down and all that kind of, going down the stairs and seeing the guy or whatever it is. So she didn't have those opportunities. But it is very interesting that because I would say the same things that Jen's saying. Like, you just need to have a good time. Like, hey, Ron, like, what do you care?
You don't have to
this
get
guy
married.
that she's worried about that's a little bit younger.
Who cares?
Well, who cares? So what? He's 6 years younger than you? Okay.
Yeah, they're debating, how many years makes you a cougar? Is that 10
it's
years?
Like, who cares?
15 years? Who cares? If you like the person, you're attracted to them, it's just, you're just going to be talking. It's just, that's what, God.
And then maybe, but again, and then you could just have a good time and then be like, peace out. I mean, that's the other part of it too. So I think that, she's really struggling with dating and struggling with what, and I feel for her because she's also in a weird position where she can't date like a 20-year-old. Do you know what I mean? Like, everybody that she's going to meet is going to be like her with kids and an ex and some of these other things.
Well, and she's on television.
Yeah.
That too. The catfishing stuff, all that stuff.
Yes. But that's the part about like, that's really hard is that she's having to face all of these things that she's never had to face before. And then it's all wrapped up in this act of dating, which she doesn't, she doesn't understand. So I guess I should give Meri a break.
Yeah, I'm sure she's worried about people judging her. Because if they go back and they watch the show or even just get the highlights of the show, she doesn't come off very well in a lot of it. So, anyway.
And then we had to go through and ask everybody about dating apps. And Robyn, of course, was like, she would never use an app. I mean, are the people even on there serious?
Yeah, or just looking for a hookup.
I'm like, okay.
Well, both, Robyn.
Yeah. And
a lot going on out there.
Now, this was interesting with Christine. She says the app that she used was for swingers and open marriages, but I guess also people that want to be monogamous. I'm like, what app is this?
What app is that?
Because usually it's either swinging and non-monogamy or monogamy. You know what I mean?
I have to say that it's been many, 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 many years since I've been on a dating app, but I kind of agree that there are a lot of people on those apps, even just the vanilla apps, who are not really available.
No.
They're just out there. They are screwing around.
Yeah.
They're having affairs. They're dipping their toe in the water. They're seeing what's out there. There's a lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe that's what she meant, because I don't think she was literally on an app for swingers. Or I mean, I just think that through.
Oh, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm sure there was some stuff on there because people will say, what they're open to. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that the apps now you basically just check off whatever. I'll do this. I'll do this.
Yeah. I'm sure I've mentioned this before. I hear this from my clients all the time, which is, I don't have any clients that are like actively dating in San Francisco recently, but in the past, I had one client, she told me this story about how she was at this point in life, she wanted to get married, she wanted to have kids, she was freezing her eggs, she was serious. And so she was texting with this guy and she's like, this is what and she's very clear. Like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm on. He wants the exact same thing. Great. They have their first date. They're making out like on her couch. And then that's when he drops the bomb of, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would really want to be serious or exclusive. It's like a lot of these guys want, it's almost like, well, I want the good girl, or I want, do you know what I mean? And I want this kind of person, or I'm attracted to this kind of person, but they want a serious relationship. I'm going to tell them I want a serious relationship until I get there. And that's also crappy too. That people will say that this is what they want, but it's ridiculous. Janelle says she'll never be on a dating app. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's a hard no for Janelle.
And Kody says, how do you get the essence? How do you get the essence of a person? And he's not wrong, but you're not going to get their essence through the app. You're going to get the connection, the meeting. Right.
You meet them through the app. The rest is just the same. It's the same as it's always been,
Yeah.
You get to know them.
Okay. So then I got a little confused because she and Jen, they're like blurring out so much the photos on the phone. And she was talking about this guy, Steven. Now, is this the younger guy that was at the dating? Steven?
I don't know.
Okay. But I'm sorry, whoever that younger guy is, and he's wearing a Kiss the Cock apron. I'm just going to say, I've never met a straight man that had that apron.
No.
I've never had a straight man that had that apron. That's all I'm going to say.
Maybe they were so desperate. They needed to fill this room to do this, to shoot this scene.
Oh.
And so they paid people $50 to come be in the scene. And Steven was like, sure,
But he matched with her. Or something. I mean, it's like,
well, maybe he wanted to keep getting paid. He's like, maybe there'll be another opportunity to film and I can make another 50.
So come at me, ask, if someone here is, has the kiss the cock apron and is straight.
Your husband has the kiss the cock
tell me
apron.
Tell me, because I could be very wrong. But I'm just, the minute I saw that, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now we have to go to Flagstaff. I find all of the Robyn and Kody stuff so grating, but it really is the best. It's the meat, but the meat is so tough to chew. Well,
they're really, really using their acting skills to try their hardest to make themselves look not so horrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're very aware of how this looks.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, maybe we just didn't see the movers. But again, they're packing everything themselves. They got Kody's brother Michael helping them, and that's it. And they appear to be moving themselves. And it's like, God, it just gets me. Like, you have money. You have enough money to hire movers.
Well, so then we see Janelle, and Janelle has this talking head. And this is what I've been saying. Janelle's like, I'm wondering about Coyote Pass now. She's like, I saw on social media that they got a new house. And she's like, and now I'm wondering about the property. And she said it. She's like, he has a hefty mortgage. Like, that's what I said too. Even if they put a lot down, it's still a hefty mortgage. And she's like, oh, and she says, he's going to need cash, but she's worried because when he needs money, he gets greedy. So.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what happened. And, if it hadn't been for lawyers getting involved, he would have. Because as we will talk about when we cover Christine's book this week for Patreon.
Yes.
Oh, there's a lot of, he is financially dishonest and greedy and at the expense of his children and his wives. He's awful.
Yeah. I mean, at the core of it, it's like, you need to make it fair because all of these women have your children. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit like, it's not just one person and you kind of feel dismissive of, I don't know. It's just like, if you don't love these women, if this is your mantra, that's fine. But these are your children. And you do know that if you punish this mother, this punishes the children, which is such an ego narcissistic thing to do.
Oh, he's awful.
But he wants to talk about his pheromones. Kody
This
really
is
smells
disgusting.
right now. And this was so gross. He's like, I can smell my pheromones. And he's like, oh, I'm always peacocking with her. I always peacock with her. I never with another woman, and he's talking about how they're flirting. He's flirting around because they're battle buddies, not lovers.
Because they're moving themselves. Months? He says they've been moving for months.
Yeah.
So there's an overlap here. They got the new house, but they have some time to get out of the old house. Months? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
But whatever.
But it's a little bit like, ew, gross, put on some deodorant or something. Like,
he's acting, he's being so disgusting. It's like, you like that stinky smell. You like that stink. Ew. It's just like, stop talking. No one
maybe this is, you need to shut up. Maybe this is where we get the title
that's what
from.
they're referring to.
Yes. Yeah. It's not cute. And that's a part that I guess that's a lot of this like social cues in the awkwardness of Kody, which is I think he thinks that we're going to see this and think, ooh, they're really horny, for each other.
Yeah.
That they're this sexy couple. And it's like, no, we're really kind of grossed out. I'd just like for you to take a shower. Like, that's gross.
Well, yeah. And all of a sudden now he wants us to know how hot they are for each other. Because he says that they had this family culture. I don't know if he said this or Robyn.
No, Robyn did. Robyn did.
The family culture of no affection in front of the other wives. And so Robyn, she needs to get comfortable with, PDA. And then Kody's like, yeah, he wants her to be so comfortable that she want to slap his ass at the mall.
Yeah.
What?
That's bizarre. I've been married 22 years. I've never wanted to slap my husband's ass at the mall. Ever. And so I'm having so many theories. I have a lot of theories about Robyn and Kody and like what, because yes, the Kody that we see today is heavily influenced by Robyn. And so there's something about this where I really feel like part of maybe what she did with him was she lured him in, and I think she makes him feel insecure. I think that it's one of those, like, he loves her more than she loves him. And she might love him just as much. But I get the sense that she kind of like, because he is constantly trying to impress her. He's constantly trying to get her to see him. He's constantly like, and all of this, everything, the financial abuse, everything was about getting her
what she wanted
and getting her to want him. And I'm like, so there's something here where you're getting it, enough of it. She's giving you drops, but you want water. She's been breadcrumbing you for 15 years. And it's really interesting to see because he uses words that she uses and all of that kind of stuff. And I think I've talked about this before. I often, as I'm just bebopping around thinking about Sister Wives and just about this transformation of Kody and who he is. And is this who Kody always has been? Is this the influence of the TV show and this bride? Is it that? And I just think it's like, I think it's one of those things where, people hit these critical moments and the people that you choose to marry or surround yourself will take you in one direction or another. I think that he fell in love with someone who was honest and truthful and, all the things that Robyn is not. I do wonder if this would have worked,
Yeah, because, her comments about how though there was all these men who wanted to marry her and, she had to make sure, she always treated herself like she was a prize.
Yeah.
You're right, because Kody has just always wanted to feel special. He's always wanted to be seen and noticed.
Yes.
And ever since he was a child, and we've heard this from everyone in his life, his friends from high school talking about what a showboat he was, all the way through it. He just wants to feel special. He liked, that he had all these children. I don't know if he cared so much about the wives, honestly. But he, having all these children made him feel good, and the children all liking him and adoring him and all of that. And
different kind of family too.
Yeah, he's different. The long hair, whatever. And so, so and Robyn was like this prize for him. And the first wife that he kind of chose, he didn't choose.
Yeah.
All those other marriages were kind of pushed on him by his family, in my opinion.
Definitely Christine. We know that one.
Oh, yeah. No, there was the church leaders, the family, whoever. Because Mary's family was, I believe they were kind of influential in getting Wynn and Janelle or Grandma Janelle to convert to the fundamentalist. So Robyn was the first person who he's like, oh my God, look at that girl. And she was pretty,
beginning of the show, she is very pretty. She is the one where everybody else is looking better. She looks worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what's happening with her. And again, if she has a thyroid thing, I'm sorry, but it's shocking how she had such light. And
well, it's her energy. It's not even her physical, attributes necessarily. It's just that, she is, she had a light before. She was happy. She has not been happy for a long, long time. And she's lost her light, and so that makes her look, she's wearing it on her face. So, and so he just felt so proud of himself that he got this pretty, and now he's taught, how many times do we hear a pretty shy wife? He's just got her on a pedestal.
Yeah. And she knows it, and she works it, and she's very, and I wonder with her how much she really likes, I think she loves him, but again, he loves her more than she loves him. And so the person who is more in love does not have the control. It's the other one. So I think that's the feeling. And I think that's what he is really reacting to at every turn, which is I got to keep her. I got to keep her. I got to keep her happy. I got to keep her happy. I got to keep her close. And to the point where we got here. You got what you wanted.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, now Robyn's upset because this isn't what she signed up for.
Yes.
Now he's feeling degraded. Like, oh my God, 3 women left me. How is Robyn going to see me?
Yeah.
Through her eyes now? Am I a failure? So he's really, all over the place with all this stuff, and just trying to keep all the balls in the air, and basically just to keep Robyn happy.
Yeah. All of it.
Yeah.
All of it. It was to keep her happy. And what she wanted him to tuck her kids in every night.
Yeah.
And so that's what he did. And he wouldn't go. When we get to the book, she wouldn't go to Isabel's surgery. Oh, if you're not if you're not part of our $8 tier on Patreon, I have to say you are missing out. We are now going to record right after this our 7th episode of this.
Oh wow.
We are really, we're not even finished, people.
We're getting into the nitty gritty. Yeah.
So
it's a good book.
Yeah. So come over to Patreon, $8 level. Anyway, that's the last plug I'll do. But we've got to go to Salt Lake City and Christine and David's house and see Peyton.
Peyton is completely out of the military now. And, I kind of knew this, but Christine said, Garrison was his best friend.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought Gabe and Garrison were best friends. But I think they were very, very close. But I think his best, because they were in the military together and they're probably closer in age and all of that. Yeah, I didn't realize how close they were. Yeah.
So he, is kind of seems to me like he's looking for a fresh start. And, he's going to move to North Carolina to be near his siblings and his nieces and nephews. And that makes sense to me. I mean, I feel for Christine with this whole thing, because that is hard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard, when your kids, and she's not saying she even says explicitly, I'm not following them. I don't expect, she's not being, I don't know what the word is, but, she's acting appropriately about her children,
Yeah, she's sad.
Leaving the nest and, and she wants them to, but she's sad. And I don't blame her. I mean, if you're used to having, your children and your grandchildren too. That's a really hard part, to not be able to watch them grow up, see them all the time, that kind of thing. So I feel for her, and I don't think she truly is upset with Janelle.
No.
Janelle does need to stop saying that stuff, though, because it's just triggering to Christine.
You know that bugs her. You know what hurts her feelings.
So don't say it. Yeah.
Leave it alone. Well, the other thing too is and once, because at first when I heard Peyton moved, I was like, really? And then when he explained it, he's like, I want to be close to Janelle. I think it's part of it is like maybe getting close to Janelle, close to Maddie, like close to the memory of Garrison.
Because he spent a lot of time at Janelle's house because he was the only boy in his house. So Janelle truly is a second mom, and Maddie is like, he's close with her and everyone in that household. So that makes sense.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. What did he say? He says, I lost a huge chunk of him. I lost a huge chunk. What did I mean? I mean, I think he just meant like he lost a huge part of his life. Like if this is your best friend and your best friend is gone, there's that giant hole. And, just like Kody and Robyn with the pain of the house, Peyton doesn't want to be reminded of Garrison. And I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Well, yeah, everyone's left Flagstaff now, except for, I think Gwen might still live there.
And Gabe?
No, Gabe moved to Chicago.
Oh, he did? It's just his birthday last week.
I know. October 11th.
Happy belated birthday. That's my anniversary.
Never forget.
So, yeah.
And it's Bill and Hillary Clinton's anniversary.
Yes, it is. I said that to Steve. I was like, oh my God, we have the same anniversary as Bill and Hillary Clinton. And he's like, oh, I was like, they're celebrating 50 years.
Wow.
I said, what a couple for us to emulate.
Well, hey, they're 50 years. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, are they even in the same... I definitely know they're not in the same room when they're posting those photos, but are they even on the same continent? It's like, how often are these two ever together? That's what's so laughable about it.
I think they might be. Well, they have grandchildren. They probably... Where does Chelsea... I think does she live in New York City? I don't know.
Anyway, I mean...
I wish them the best.
I don't think that they're spending day in, day out together. That's
no. Well, they're both very busy people. They have their own lives. They have their own things that they do, their projects and all of that. So, yeah, they're not watching Sister Wives together and sitting on the couch.
Psych Legal Pop. We'll be back after these messages.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay. So now we're back to talking about the apps.
Oh God! And did you notice the music changes? Like it's like the sad music, and then we're at pair one. Like, okay, people, get upbeat now. We got to get upbeat. Like this, the mood is changing.
This is just more boring. This is where Meri says that if you like me first, you have to start the conversation. I'm not going to start the conversation, and she admits that she's quote unquote talking to 6 guys.
Wow.
That's a lot to be juggling.
Yeah, that is a lot to juggle. But and this alludes to what you were talking about earlier, where Kody's talking about like, yeah, when he first met Meri, they would flirt, they'd hang out like in groups. They never really went on dates, like proper dates. And then he mentions this attraction to the family. And then he talks about being reeled in by the family. And again, I think that this was him not loving Meri, but wanting to be part of this thing. But then Meri, this is where Meri talks about how, you know, Kody used to be very, very different. You know, there was a light in his eyes and he was kind. And again, I think who you are with greatly, greatly influences that part of it. And, you know, whatever light Robyn had is gone. Like that, her energy is awful. True. I can feel it through the screen. It is so bad.
At least what we see of it. I don't know. Maybe she's just playing this role and maybe off screen she's, you know, happy, you know.
Happy-go-lucky?
Not necessarily happy-go-lucky, but I mean, I'm sorry. You can't tell me that she's not happy in her life. She's happy with Kody. She's, you know, likes all her kids are around except Dayton. We don't know where Dayton is.
Yeah.
We have no idea. So I don't know. I really don't know.
All right. Well, we have a quick, what was this? A quick thing. And we are like back in Salt Lake and Christine's upset because she's getting mail that says Christine Brown. And she's walking around the neighborhood. Again, they needed a scene. So they're holding hands, walking around the block. And she says she feels like a bad mom because they're all picking Janelle. And then this is where we hear about Christine and Janelle are in business together, which I assume is the Plexus.
Plexus, yeah.
And I guess they ran the business kind of together, but I guess Christine right now wants to maybe break away. I think that Christine's probably still very serious about the business. And I bet you anything Janelle's like kind of half in, half out.
Janelle is doing this Tata Farms project. Now she's doing her life coach. You know, she just launched her
life coaching business.
Life coaching business. Apparently, she said she's a certified life coach. Like certified by, yeah, I heard her say that.
Oh, okay. I want to take her course. Do I just go on? I just go on her Instagram, right, and find it, and then sign up.
Yeah, just find. I don't even know the name of it, but yeah, they already had one. Someone was talking about it on. I think it was Jody and Amanda. Some people reported, you know, they had attended and. It sounded like it was kind of a shit show. Like, it wasn't, there was like 400 people on this call and it was like, wasn't ran very well. And, you know, it just didn't go well. So, but I think there's another one coming up like this next week or something.
Okay. All right. I'll have to keep an eye out.
So that's your homework.
Yes.
Sign up for that.
And this is all through her social media though. Cause there's nothing on a website anywhere.
I don't know. She might have a separate website.
Okay. I have to do some Googling.
Just Google it and find it.
I will. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think maybe Janelle is not putting as much time into Plexus. I mean, she's probably already got a good downline. She's going to bring in money. She just wants to do something else.
Yeah. Okay. Here, I found the post. I have to. Yeah. Real tools, real results. The stories you tell yourself shape your reality. Wow. Okay.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Thoughts.
All right. Flagstaff. And so now we have Michael, and Michael, of course, has to talk to Kody about the move. So he's got to bring this up.
Yeah. This is their last day of packing. They have to get out tomorrow.
Yeah, we hear the whole, we have to go through the whole thing again about the pain and the 5 years and this 5 years and the family eroded.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where he gets into this whole thing of, would she find me valuable without the other wives? Would she, you know, worried about Robyn, you know, what would happen? And then this is where Robyn says, well, this is not the life she expected. And that's where I wrote this little note to myself. I said, there's something in this dynamic where maybe Robyn is holding back a bit. And that's what hooks him in. Because the worry and fear that he has about this woman leaving him.
And it keeps him, always trying.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. No, she's.
But it's a bit cruel. I mean, it's very, very cruel in many ways. because you don't deserve that. Like, so he's always living in this fight, flight, freeze stage.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's really just really insecure at the core of it.
Yeah. Well, so we hear all about finally, Kody, we're talking about, hey, I was, we're all pretending like that this is great, that, I had to pretend, I'm faking my way through it. And, something about Christine leaving him and then him saying, well, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised because Christine told me 15 years earlier that she hated polygamy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then he says something so mean. He says he doesn't even want to have to say her name, doesn't want to think about her existing, yet he has to still interact with her kids.
Yes.
And Michael corrects him and says, your kids. Which, even if you notice, he always referred to Christine's kids, Janelle's kids. I thought that was weird. Like,
No, it was an interesting slip.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting little slip about Christine. This is my other theory, which is that I think he's very, very, we've talked a lot about this, right? About feeling forced to marry Christine and, the sacrifices that he made. But I think he blames Christine because he feels like she's the one that started this, which he kind of did,
by leaving.
Again, we don't know exactly what the circumstances are. You told us that you weren't even married to Meri, so let's just let that go. But you liked Meri around, and she was a bit of a cash cow. So when he had all these women and the money, he had a good little thing going, and he could be with Robyn and then not have to, but he had 3 other incomes coming towards him. So, but I think that he's especially angry at Christine because not only is she a fan favorite, but she left him and she made him look really bad. She really, really did. She really and the fact that she was able to remain so calm and controlled when she told him that she was leaving, and he just flips out and gets angry. And now he's very embarrassed.
Well, and also she was very kind about the way that she did it to him on the show, because again, in her book, she describes in more detail the whole story and everything that happened. And he was a total asshole to her. And a lot more happened. It's not just what you see on TV. And she was trying to be kind to him. She could have brought up a whole bunch more stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And made him look even worse. But she didn't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm sure she has a million more stories than what's inside this book. And he seems, and he's awful in this book.
Yeah.
Awful.
He is.
Let's see. Oh,
so
God.
yeah, but back to Kody talking about how he and Robyn are bitter about the failure of this experience.
Well, and
he has
this
to drive past Christine's old house and drive by Coyote Pass every day, and this is just too much for him.
Is this where they're talking about are polygamists happy? Is whole polygamist happy, or is this later on? I'm getting my notes. They talk more about this in the next one. Okay. So should we go to North Carolina?
Okay. Yeah. So it's the holidays.
Yes.
In North Carolina.
And they want a Christmas tree. I assume they say a holiday tree. And everyone's goes out to the Tata Farms because they have all these trees and they cut a tree down, which not the best Christmas tree, but okay.
Well, Christmas trees are, they're manufactured. You know, they grow them a certain way and look a certain way. Yeah, this was not your traditional Christmas tree.
No.
But, it was fun. The kids liked it. They liked, Caleb with a chainsaw. And, it's fun.
Well, and also McKelty's kids are hanging out with Maddie's kids, and it looks like they're all having a good time. So it's very sweet. And then we hear the story from Meri about one time when she and Kody were out and they were chopping down a tree, and Meri said, I think it's going to hit your car. And Kody's like, no, it's not going to do it. And sure enough, it hit his car. But this is what I love about Kody. He's just laughing like, and then it hit my car. It's like,
yeah. And he probably didn't have like good insurance or probably totaled his car.
Dear God. Yeah. So I guess they're frustrated with this Tata Farms thing because they have to get permits in order to grow.
Start planting. Yeah.
And because the permits are taking so long, they, I guess, missed this fall season to plant.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means that then they have to wait a whole year or if they just have to wait for the spring. I'm not quite sure, but I guess I'm kind of surprised that they're all surprised that these permits would be held to get any of these stuff. 2 weeks,
it
please.
takes months.
Yeah. Bureaucracy's always been around. You know how bad it is.
Yeah. And I think I remember reading that one of the reasons it was delayed is when they didn't to get the permit, someone comes and does an inspection and they found something during the inspection that they had to then remedy. I don't know, it was some type of maybe like an infestation of some something. Mm-hmm. So then they had to remedy that and whatever. So yeah, that's how it goes. This is bureaucracy.
Yeah.
But don't worry, Janelle.
Yes.
Well, this morning on Instagram, she posted a photo of the foundation of her home.
Yes, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, she's like, I have a floor.
So it's a pretty big place. So I guess things are happening.
Yeah.
If this were Kody, we would still be arguing for 5 years over, who gets what plot or whatever.
Okay, now we're back in Flagstaff, and this is where they start to talk about Michael, and Michael's the youngest of all Kody's siblings, and Michael, basically they thought maybe Michael would live plural marriage, but Michael's like, no. And we've had this conversation with Michael more than once.
Yeah.
Like every time he comes on the show,
every time he comes to town, they have to grill him about this.
Yeah. And every time he says, no, not interested. Mm-hmm. And then Kody makes this observation, which is, he says, I'm leaving plural marriage at the age where my dad was getting into it. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's more successful when you're older. And I was like, that's interesting, Kody. Like, this is the most interesting thing you said ever. I'm like, yeah, that is really fascinating. Like, would it be different if it was, and again, this is your perception of everything, Kody. I mean, Kody has such a stars in his eyes, about his father. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, was Grandma Janelle real happy about this? Like, do you know what I mean? He's taking this attitude of Wynn decided to take a second wife and it was just all magical and perfect. And I'm like,
yeah, because he says he died with 3 wives who loved him.
Who were madly in love with him. I'm kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe one or 2, but all 3?
Yeah. He's really romanticizing this. And the way that he talks about his father that, he says, I'm not trying to be sexist, but his theory, okay, what's coming next?
Yeah.
His theory is the reason why Wynn was so successful as a polygamist was just sheer damn manliness.
Yes.
And Michael and him say, yeah, he was angry and mean, but he was extremely masculine, macho, and he was a cowboy on a horse in the rain. Women were going, hubba, hubba. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you?
I mean, the way they talk about like Janelle's mom meeting him, that she just like, dropped her panties and was like, let's go, Wynn, right here on the horse. I mean, dear God. I see, again, I'm going to tell you another theory that I have. Sorry, people, I have many. Okay. So this is what I'm piecing together about Kody is that I think Wynn was very angry and mean. I think he was. I think that Kody is spent his life trying to get his father to love him and approve of him. And at the core, Kody is not a cowboy.
No.
Kody isn't this. Kody is what we see. Kody he's the showboat, right? But I don't think he was allowed to be a showboat. And I think there's something about him where he is battling between these 2 things, this thing that my father wanted me to be and who I am. who I really am as a person. And the fact that I don't think that I don't think we ever really see the true Kody. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like he's constantly battling between these parts of who he wants to be. And if he could just be authentically who he is as a person and just be like, well, my dad has to accept me and love me, which is not easy, but what would that be like?
I think the true Kody is the guy who likes nice things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I believe that part.
Who's the showboat and likes attention and not necessarily, it's not even necessarily female attention. He likes attention from anybody.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And he just wants to kind of, you know, be this happy-go-lucky kind of guy. And Wynn probably was telling him to, you know, shut the fuck up and, you know, eat your dinner, you know, while he's trying to tell a story or, you know, like he was like kind of pounded that out of him. But then why would he romanticize his father's image? And, you know, he makes him out to be like, this is just like, you know, I don't know.
I mean, I think it's a very interesting observation of would plural marriage work if people are middle-aged, right? I mean, if you are middle-aged, I think it would work if you weren't married to any of them and it was like 3 women or 2 women come together and 1 guy, you know, and they're all like 60. I think, that might work because they'd all be like, okay, I don't care. Let's just...
Yeah. If you want to have sex with him, go ahead.
I mean, I think, right? And, you know, your kids are grown and all of those other things, you know, I think it is very different because I don't know how many kids were at home when Wynn became plural, when started doing plural marriage. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how,
if Michael was that young, so the second wife, you know, he had kids, he started having kids, I guess, in his 50s with the second wife. Mm-hmm. And that must be Michael's mom. So there were those younger kids, but but the Kody's full siblings, I don't know. But he said another kind of interesting thing. He said that he hit an age where he doesn't think that they, meaning the wives, were into him anymore.
Wait, he did? I completely missed that. When did he say that?
In this conversation with Michael, he said,
I'm so busy writing these other things.
Well, there was a lot happened in this. There was a lot of content in this conversation, but he said that he hit an age where he didn't think they were into him anymore, which is kind of true, you know, because they weren't. But he also wasn't into them either.
Yeah, no, Christine, I think he liked that Christine wanted him to be around all the time. I think he got something from that. And I think the day that he's finding out, everyone's going sledding and I wasn't invited, or everyone's, or you, okay. I mean, they weren't interested. And I think it comes back to Meri and the fact that Meri, you know, was interested in someone else and not him. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that hit his.
He couldn't get over that.
He could not get over that at all. Yeah. But it is this very interesting thing. But Michael says, hands down, the smartest thing anyone said, which is, you know, life's tough enough already. Why make it harder?
Yeah.
By being a polygamist. And I'm like, yeah.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But now something very exciting happens.
Oh, yes.
We go back to North Carolina. And Joe Dagher comes up.
I know. Everyone loves Joe Dagher.
Yes. Janelle was very complimentary.
Oh, I bet you anything if Joe Dagher showed up and said, Janelle, you want to be my 4th wife? I think she'd go.
I think she would.
I mean, I think she's happy in this farm now, so I think he would have to move out there. But I think she's always been into Joe Dagher. And I think that's much more maybe who she wants and what she's attracted to.
And you know what she's attracted to about him? Not necessarily his looks.
No.
She likes how organized he is and how well he runs his family.
Yes.
You know, the trains run on time in the Dagher house.
Yeah.
And so to her, that's sexy. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Well, we here in North Carolina, we're back there. And McKelty says, I just was reading the Dagher book. And I think, is she the one that said this? Like, I think it worked for him because he loved all of his wives.
Well, Janelle says, then they get into, like why do some polygamous relationships work and some don't? And Janelle says it depends on the man's character. And Kody just failed at managing the wives' relationships. Mm-hmm. Whereas, Joe, he's managing things. He's taking care of business.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is what she says is she said, plural marriage can work, but it's really dependent on the man and the character of the man. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think this is the thing that she is so angry about is I thought I married this kind of man.
Right.
And then you're now this kind of man. And nuh-uh. Because that's not the character of the man I married. Would just shove his kids away.
Janelle had blinders on for a long time because she was just, she didn't have a father figure growing up, a close father figure growing up. And she just the fact that Kody in the beginning was there playing with the kids and whatever, she had such low expectations.
Yeah.
You know, but as soon as they were old enough to like talk back to him and stand up for themselves, it just, all went to hell.
Yeah. But did you hear? So Cody's theory is the Dogger family or Joe Dogger's been able to do well because he married women. All of the women he married are all culturally homogenous.
But so were his wives. All of them grew up in either polygamy or Janelle was LDS. Mm-hmm. That's pretty homogenous, a group of women. And then, and you have Meri and Christine and Robyn all were in plural families. So what are you talking about, Kody? Mm-hmm. You had the same thing and you fucked it up.
Yeah.
So,
well, his whole thing, because Dogger married sisters and it's like,
twins.
Yeah, that's not culturally, whatever. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Because when he said that, I was like, okay, well, I can understand Janelle's not part of this culture, but, the other three are. So,
explain that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then was it Janelle who said that, Joe is like an architect?
No, Christine.
Oh, Christine. Okay.
Because Christine's hot for him too.
Yes. Everyone loves he's a planner.
Yes.
He's like an architect, and Kody is just a fireman putting out fires.
I like this. I've never heard this. I don't know what you would call this. Is this an analogy? But I've never heard this before, that there are architects and firemen. Architects, there's a master plan, and firemen are constantly putting out fires.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal that. Use that.
Yeah. You want to be an architect, not a fireman.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And we know what Kody was.
Yes.
And then we get Kody. We get a lot from Kody, a lot of thoughts and feelings at the end here where he talks about, listen, he was committed to plural marriage. He was committed to the family. He struggled. And I was like, okay, good. We're getting there. I thought this was good. But he had a hard time. Like he admits that he struggled with being devoted to all of his wives. But then he cannot stop there because then he has to add, well, but the wives weren't always devoted to me or to each other. So, he owned the fact that I was, and I do agree with him. He was committed to the family itself and what it represented in that part of it. But you were committed to that because that was your livelihood. Let's not get it twisted. Like, right. You weren't committed to it because, yes, you love your children, but it was also how you made a living. So you needed to be committed to it.
Look, he kept Meri around for a paycheck.
Yeah.
And he hated her.
So, but he couldn't just stop there. It couldn't be that. He had to then throw these wives under the bus about how he felt like they treated each other and how devoted they were to him. And again, I think this is Meri. The devoted thing is the Meri and the catfishing. And I'm sure with Christine, the devoted was, wait, you're leaving? So.
Yeah, he cannot take accountability.
No.
For anything. It's just,
yeah.
That's why they all left. I mean,
Yep.
yeah. So they're saying goodbye to the house and, talking about how awful,
The holidays have been.
all the awful memories of the house. And, that's not really a good way to say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
You could be like, we had a lot of hard times in this house, but we also had a lot of good times, and we were able to be together during COVID and be together. I mean, he can't find a silver lining for anything.
No, he says, I'm not going to be poisoned by the memory of the past, ruining my present.
And then again, wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah. And of course we have to do this prayer circle where they thank God for what? You hate this house. What are you thanking God for now?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, just leave, please.
Just leave. Let the new people move in. And then he says, I stirred up a jealousy putting Robyn in this house. My wives couldn't handle that I was willing to fight to make sure Robyn was safely kept.
Okay. And again, I underline the word safely. This is a word that Kody only started using when Robyn came around, and she started using it. Mm-hmm. No one used safe before Robyn. I bet you anything. No one. And Kody did not use the word safe. So again, back to Robyn. She has convinced Kody, and you want me, you need to make me feel safe. Mm-hmm. So what she wants, she says, well, and she's not going to say it on camera, but what she said at the house, I'm sure was, I know it's expensive, but I will feel safe here. And then that's it. He's like, okay.
Right.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. And in Christine's book, she mentions that right before, I guess when everyone was leaving and separating, they split up this family, whatever was left in this family account, which was not much, almost nothing. And she said that right before that happened, Kody took out a bunch of money and paid it towards Robyn's house.
Wow.
To get the equity.
Yep.
So, God, I mean, that's...
But Robyn did her own goodbye. What do you think
that was like?
Oh, God. Because this was the last place where they were all together as a family. I'm like, but did the whole family ever was the whole family ever in that house? Like, that's the thing. You guys moved in 2019. You then it was COVID, and then the family,
I think they might have had one Thanksgiving or one Christmas there before COVID.
Maybe.
Maybe the Christmas or Thanksgiving, before March of 2020.
So it's a little bit like that was 6 years ago or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. And that's pretty much it. Did you write down what's happening next week?
Yes. Next time on David is trying to convince Janelle that she really needs to be on Farmers Only dating app.
Okay.
And then Jen says to Meri, how much longer until you just believe that he's an ass?
Meaning Kody?
I assume she's talking about Kody. Or maybe she had a bad dating experience. I don't know.
I'm sure it's Kody.
Yeah. And why is Meri even still talking about Kody? My God. And then Aurora has a boyfriend.
Yeah, that's going to be... I want to meet this guy.
And he's coming over for dinner. Yes. I think his name is Brody, I think.
Yeah. Oh, God. Can you imagine Kody with this?
Poor guy.
This poor Brody. Oh, Brody. You're walking into Kody just beside himself.
Oh, is he going to lecture him about hormones?
Yes. I bet you anything he will.
And chastity.
Because he likes this role. He's the dad, and this is my girl, and you're going to come and take her out and let me look at you, and all of that kind of stuff. That kind of traditional stuff.
She's 24.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if he does that, this is not a teenager. If he does that, I mean, I'd be mortified. I mean,
well, yeah, most people
normal,
at 20.
Yeah.
sorry. Most people at 24 are like living in an apartment with their friends and they're kind of like, I'm going to go hang out with Brody and maybe dad might meet him if it's serious.
Yeah.
But like the only way she can hang out with him is he has got to come over to the house.
Yeah. She
get
can't
through this.
I wonder if they let her go on dates.
I don't know. This poor girl. Anyway, so, well, oh my God, we're over an hour of a 42-minute show.
Well, we had to talk about special forces.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I feel better now. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Like I mentioned earlier, we do have a Patreon. If you thinking to yourself, I need more of these women. I need more.
You want more Brown talk? You want more Christine's book? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We also have on the $8 level a true crime monthly and Ask Us Anything, and both levels, the $5 and the $8 level, everyone gets all the shows ad free and a weekly bonus. So you get lots of stuff. But there's other ways to support us. You can give us a 5-star rating and review. If you are a fan of ours and you haven't already, those really, really do help us get the show out there and people finding us. Telling a friend, spreading the word. Go follow us on social media. We're on YouTube now, so you can go over to YouTube and watch the show there. Lots of good stuff.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, ladies. When you've done the work, you want your hydration to do the same. Introducing new Gatorade Lower Sugar, now with no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or colors. And 75% less sugar and all the electrolytes of regular Gatorade, now available nationwide.